Good evening and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm Jennings Bernard, your host. As always, you can catch me right here each and every day, Monday through Friday from 5 to 6 p.m. or whenever I am available. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in this community, we will talk about it. And we welcome you in. We welcome you in as always. We really do appreciate you being a part of this program. Tell a friend to tell a friend that Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil is on the air. As always, we ask that you subscribe to this program. Many of you are listening to this program, and we invite you to subscribe as well. Go to our Facebook page at MemphisRealTalk.com. Again, Memphis Real Talk, that's one word, .com. And you can go and see what we're doing, putting the programs up on product, Spotify, X, as well as on YouTube. And you can subscribe and donate on uh, the website uh, if you choose to. We appreciate you uh, being a part. I'm Jennings Bernard. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I hope I got everything going here. Got all the buttons pushed in the right way. And you heard, well, you didn't hear me for a moment on yesterday, but we corrected that. I go through my checklist, just like the pilots do. They check list before they fly an airplane. So I have to go through my checklist to make sure everything is here. But one day we'll have somebody behind us in the new studio that will be producing the show, and I will be along with my guests, and we will be sitting back just doing the show, talking business and talking business over and over again about businesses and the corrupt politician. And we can go on and on in this city. And believe me, we have some corrupt politicians. They're so corrupt now that they put it in front of your face and dare you to say anything about it. I'm going to deal with a subject today and deal with something that is just so blatant, outright just wrong. But hey, they figure you don't care, and you know you're not going to do anything about it. They feel that on election day you will put them back in the office. Well, I can't argue about that too much because I've lived through that for the last 50 years almost. That once they're in the black community, and the black community receive nothing by them being in office. And this is what I do. And this is why I do it. Because at some point you ought to get sick and tired of being sick and tired of the same mess, the chaotic mess that's going on in this community. Right now, I tell you, if the truth be told, there's a whole lot of black politicians. There are a whole lot of crooked receivers of benefits from the crooked politician would be in jail. Uh, you look at people and see how they are getting contracts with no experience in whatsoever in what they're doing. They're calling themselves this, that, and the other to end up with contracts. If the truth be told, a whole lot of black people, as we know it, I know it, will be in jail because of the wheeling and dealing and getting and receiving your tax dollar. That's the bottom line. If they really did a real audit. But some of them right now are scrambling because they don't know how much or how much information they're going to receive from the audit. They realizing now that if a true audit is done and the state of Tennessee takes over, that means that their money is going to be cut short and the party will be over because people have been doing this for years and getting away with it. It's time for something different to happen. It's time for you to vote for different individuals that are qualified. That's going to be the key word. I'm not talking about you voting for people because they got a name and you recognize it. I ain't talking about that. You see what the name recognition people have done. You see the situation where them big wheels making big deals while eating big meals and coming to our community and buying up our politicians by donation to their campaign. And every one of them that look like you and I'm talking about the African American community, they are benefiting politically off of you, the taxpayers, and you should be tired of it. Well, we're going to talk about two brothers. We're going to talk about Chase and we're going to talk about Chance of the Carlisle group as we've been talking about them dealing with this hotel. Now, Chase is the city council person. Let me put Chase up here so you can see exactly who I'm talking about. And we're going to talk about him for a minute as I put him up. This is Chase Carlisle. This is the city councilman who said that he was going to recuse himself from voting on the hotel that this administration bought. He recused himself, meaning that he wasn't going to vote for it. But that don't mean nothing. And like I said, they're brothers. And the group is called the Carlisle Group. You got one brother right here that is the chairman. That is, yeah, he was the chairman of the budget committee, still probably is, of the city council. But he thought it was going to be something by him saying that he's going to step down, which that really didn't mean nothing. This is the brother right here, is the chairman of the Carlisle Group. And after my research and reading and looking at what's going on here, you cannot tell me, in my opinion, that there's not a connection here. The brother I showed you first, which is Chase, he's the city councilman with the influence with the council, serving as the budget chairman of the council. Now y'all follow me. Here's his brother on the city council. So he recused himself. But he couldn't recuse the influence that he has on the council. So now here's the brother that's the CEO of the Carlisle Group. Why is that important? It is important because the Carlisle Group is going to manage the hotel. They're going to manage it and receive funds to manage it. And then they will put money into it and eventually own the hotel. How did this get jump started? It got jump started because of Paul Young administration decided that we would go into the hotel business. They decided to do it by way of bond, or they decided to do it by way of your tax dollar. Whether it's bond uh, or whether it's your tax dollars, it's all about you. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. When we came back to this brother, again, this brother that I was telling you about, the city councilman right here. This brother, on yesterday, they passed the 2% the pay raise that they was promised the fireman association. They promised them and negotiated for the union that they would get the 5%. They gave them 3%, but they wanted the other 2%. But this man right here that you're looking at was very upset, saying that we didn't have the money to give this to them, but yet your family is going to take over a hotel. You can't deny that's your brother. And the Carlisle group is going to take over the hotel eventually. You're all for that. You may say, I didn't vote for it, I wasn't a part of it, but your family is benefiting from it. So if your family is benefiting from it, uh, Ray Charles, Stevie Wonder could see what's going on here, that you would be benefiting from it. But yet, on yesterday, when they gave the 2% to the fire department, he raised all kind of hell as it relates to not giving the firemen the 2%. But yet, you're going to get more than 2% with the family influence and being a part of the family. Eventually, you will own the hotel. Your family will. The Carlisle Group. And what will the citizens of the city of Memphis own? Absolutely nothing. It was this administration that we knew nothing about it. But this individual, in my opinion, who sat at the table with the big wheels and made this deal, but yet he gonna come back and say, hey, I recuse myself, which that don't mean anything. They are doing it along with the administration of Paul Young, hook-winking you, bamboozling you, and run amok over you, the taxpayer, while they sit back like a fat rat on a piece of cheese, getting full off of the citizens' money. It's your money, the taxpayers' money. So you get upset, this individual right here, about the fire department getting their 2% raise. Now, if that ain't a slap in your face when it comes to politicians doing what they do in this city. Now, this is just a drop in the hat, but if a real forensic audit has been done or will be done from City Hall all across the board, county government, you will find out that some of our black politicians have learned from the white politicians who've been doing this for years and getting over like a fat rat on a piece of cheese, doing this to you, and you've been sitting back and doing nothing. What you should demand, since the arrogance attitude of the city council, Chase Carlisle, who would have the audacity to sit up here and argue about what the 2% that the farmer was going to receive. This whole thing is just a mess, and I'm sick and tired of it because I can sit here and tell you what is happening to you. And I tell you to do the research, and you don't have to go far. I did the research for you. Go to my Facebook page, read where you see the two brothers I just showed you. Read where you see the city councilman person, uh, Chase and Chance Carlisle. They're getting over on you, and the administration is very much a part of it because they did the wheeling and the dealing. And these people are so arrogant in their thinking that they're gearing up for the next campaign in the city mayor's office because they believe that you don't know no better. They believe that you're that stupid. Because if they didn't believe you were that stupid, why would they do what they're doing? They're based it on over 600,000 people that live in this community. but Paul Young only won by 25,000 votes. That says a whole lot of people don't care. It's just a handful of people that care. So we can wheel and deal. We can wheel, deal, and steal from the people. And the people care nothing because you do nothing. And then they turn around and the people that do care, they want to make sure they take care of them by way of contributions to their campaign. And with those contributions to the African American representative, they play with you. They misuse you. They take your vote for granted. And they just say because you a Democrat, you gonna vote black. Democrats been hoodwinked and bamboozled for so long, and you've been receiving nothing from your elected officials. Somebody got to tell you because evidently you ain't paying attention. If you really paid attention to what's going on here, what I'm telling you, and if any politician want to tell you I'm lying to you, hey, come on the show. I would love to debate, to talk to you in regard to what I just said. Now you would have to be a not a fool, but you have to be an absolute a fool to believe that ain't no hanky panky going on and it's right in front of your face. I invite you. I invite you to come in. I invite you to call in and give your opinion on this issue. You don't call in. Some would say not calling in is a way of not caring. And because you don't care, you don't discuss it, and you see it in front of your face, they're going to continue to play with you. They're going to continue to come to your churches. They're going to continue, the pastors allowing them interrupting your worship service. You couldn't do that when I pastored. If you wanted to talk to my congregation, you had to talk to them after service, never in the middle of the service. Because I believe that the pastor, that the service hour was for worshiping God, not politics. And therefore they waited, or they came back after service, or they met in the middle of the week and discussed it. You did not interrupt the 11 o'clock service. I never allowed it. But people, pastors, they want to be bishops. They allow them to come in and interrupt the service and just say, we know he got to go into another place. Well, he's going to another church on Sunday morning. And another church is being brainwashed to go along because you want to feel important. If it takes you to feel important for somebody to call your name in the middle of a crowd, if it makes you feel important if somebody shake your hand that's in power, if it makes you feel important to have a politician to pat you on the back, then that says to me you don't have much respect for yourself because stuff like this is happening. One brother is on the city council. The other brother is the CEO of Carlisle Group, a family business. You can't get around it. Chase, the city councilman, is a part of the family of the Carlisle. Chance, the brother that runs and CEO of Carlisle Group, and the one that will eventually end up with the hotel. You've been played. You've been played because they say you stupid. You've been played because they taking your hard-earned tax dollars and getting rich off of it. I'm not gonna bore you long because sometime in the process of doing these shows and talking to you and researching about this, you get a little disgusted. And you say, how is it that my people as God would say, which are called by his name, don't humble themselves, turn from their unthinking ways. And I'm kind of paraphrasing it a little bit, and learn from the wickedness that is happening in this city. And I believe when you turn from your unthinking ways and start thinking outside of the box, then can we save this city? Then we will hear from him, and he will heal this land that's called Memphis, Tennessee, until you do it, until you decide. Because I decided a long time ago, where I was told many years ago, you can't be elected because you stand on the truth. You're a law enforcement officer, and they will be afraid to do things around you. Well, you know, I wear that just like I wore my badge for 20 years or more in one shape, form, or fashion. I wore it, and I wore it proudly. I wore it because I swore to protect and serve this community, and I did it proudly and retired from it. But didn't stop there. Started a business, probation company, for 28 years. Turned around more people's lives than any politician ever did in the city of Memphis. I'm talking about boots on the ground. But yet you allow somebody who hadn't done anything for you to misuse you, to take your votes and benefit themselves, not you. You can look at your city, your street, and your community, and the city of Memphis, from north to south, parts of East Memphis. You don't have to worry about it. Part of West Memphis, you look at Midtown, excuse me, and you can see up around Union in that area, it's being taken care of. But go to South Memphis, to North Memphis. Go to any part of North Memphis, matter of fact, any part of South Memphis, matter of fact, and tell me what you see. Ladies and gentlemen, I've done all I can do, and I'm going to continue to do it. But every now and then you get a little frustrated. Are these people, which are called by his name, can be that ignorant? Is it ignorant, or is it laziness, or is this you don't give a damn? In other words, you're comfortable living in your situation, comfortable living in your mess, that you don't care. And we will find out how much you care. I'm going to keep calling it out. I'm going to keep saying it. I'm going to keep doing what I do because I know I'm right spiritually about what I'm doing and what I'm saying. I'm going to keep doing it because you need to know eventually, hopefully, and prayerfully that you will understand what is happening to you in your community. You're listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I'm going to do 25 minutes today. I'm at 23 right now. And I'm kind of upset a little bit with my people and other people outside of my people, outside of the African American community that just don't care, don't seem to care. And when you sit around here and this violence that is happening in your community, when you're losing your mind, and you're doing things to kill your parents and out here killing your neighbors, see, something is wrong. And while you're doing all of that, they're taking advantage of you. You need to slow down. You need to stop the violence. And you need to pay attention. then only then will you start reaping the benefits of having a real elected representative that's taking care of you. And if they do not, we need to probably push and legislators and talk about the recall, but they don't want the recall on the books because that means you can take them out if they're not doing the job for you within a certain period of time. But you can recall them on election day. But they depend on you not being motivated to do the right thing. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got to say for today. We got a guest coming in uh, at the end of the week. I'll check and make sure he's here on tomorrow. But in the meantime, you all just have a great evening. I'm going to sit back and enjoy my fruits from my labor. And I thank God every day from the fruits that He has given me that I could sit here and talk to you and be able to stress the point that so many people are letting us down, from our churches, leaders, to our elected officials, to you letting other people take from you in your community and give nothing back to your community. If you live in the community and you allow someone to come into the community and take your wealth from your community, you boo boo the fool. I'm Jennings Bernard. You've been listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. In the words of my grandmother, she always said, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll see you on tomorrow. And always remember what I said. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. And that's all I got to say about that. I'll see you on tomorrow. Take care.